Hey, part two, right away. Cruising the field, back with my special guest, entrepreneur, successful woman, Jennie Worden. How you doing, Jenny? Oh, video acting
Okay.
up again. So this
Still good.
video.
Something weird's happening with the video
I know,
there.
I must be mine. I'll go back. Anyways, so continue on your story about musicians, right? In the finding places.
That's just it. I was just using that as an example of how we bring, the totality of who we are to our politics and our experience in the city is that everybody has a myriad of experiences, and a really functional city council, even the smaller city council that we have now, should reflect that diversity of experience and that breadth of expertise that members bring to it. And if our council all looks the same or all comes from the same background, they're all former city planners or former poli-sci majors or former business people, then what we're really doing is lacking dimension
Mm-hmm.
and cheating ourselves of the expertise of the full range of citizens in the city.
I don't know why I'm frozen here. I'm
You're
just thinking,
frozen and I can
maybe
see
because
myself 3 times. It's
I can
very
say that.
confusing.
I know. There's so many. Maybe because the element's converting, I guess. Let me just see what I can do here. Get that down. See, we'll go back. Anyways, next subject. When I go into politics, how'd you find the election?
For me, the election was incredibly rewarding. It didn't start out that way. I think, as I said at the beginning of this, this started out, my campaign in Ward 19 started out with me alone on my couch and a few friends, and I created a little website. And then I posted the announcement when I took my nomination papers down to City Hall, and it got a fair bit of interest. And things only spiraled from there. So I had a really rewarding experience. It was tough at first. It was summertime. People were on vacation. I wasn't meeting a lot of support. I was canvassing on my own a lot. And I just wasn't sure how this was going to go. I didn't receive a few key endorsements, which was pretty heartbreaking, despite having really good contacts with the endorsing groups. And then in September, it really started to pick up steam, and I got some amazing individual endorsements from people like our former MPP Rima Burns McGowan, our former City Councillor Janet Davis. You endorsed me.
Yeah.
Acorn gave me an endorsement. Sarah Polly endorsed me.
Oh yes.
David Miller retweeted my campaign video, which was made by the amazing Peter DeConing. And I started getting, more, and my campaign manager Kayla worked her butt off to get me as much recognition as possible. And as a result, the Toronto Star contacted me for some comments on some issues. And this Toronto Star Vote Compass came out, and that really helped the people whose politics and whose ideology aligned with mine to find me. And it started to get really exciting. I had very positive experiences at most doors, and I knocked on a lot of doors
I remember
in
saw
making
your
these
tweets
work.
every day. Like, oh my gosh, it's hard. Eh? I tell people it's
It is tough, but it's also, I think, really rewarding, and I think very important, because the people who come out to your campaign events are by and large people who already support you and who already know who you are and who are already interested. The people who write you letters, who check out your website, they're fantastic, but they're the engaged folks. When you meet people where they are at their doors, you get a real chance to find out what's on their mind, and you're not selecting for any group of people, right? You find out what people need, who they are, what they support, and how you guys can work together. And it was really instructive and very rewarding.
That's so nice. Wow. I was gonna ask you at the beginning when you put your name in, were you nervous about canvassing by yourself? How far it's gonna go?
I wasn't super nervous. I knew my partner was coming home, and he's been active on a lot of political campaigns in the past. I knew he would come out with me. I had some pledges of support from the same people who encouraged me to run. And my rule was, I can go door to door on my own in daylight hours. It's fine. We do buildings as a group.
That's good. That's good.
And just because, once you're inside a building, there's a little less ability to extricate yourself from any situations. And we didn't have any bad situations. We had
That's good.
great receptions in the buildings. Alejandra Ruiz Vargas, the former NDP candidate for federal politics, came with me. She's a crackerjack tenant rights activist active with Acorn, and we did a lot of the buildings on Dawes Road together. Dr. Jill Andrew came and did a tenants' right canvas with me, and we were able to connect with a lot of people who don't typically get a lot of politicians knocking on their doors
Oh,
and
that's
asking
nice.
them what's important to them.
So they're
Because,
surprised you're knocking on the door. It's like, wow.
yeah, because buildings are not where you win elections, apparently.
It's funny you said that. They're surprised people are knocking on the doors because this is your first time running, right? So the other candidates and the other incumbents, they didn't knock on their doors or what?
Guess not.
Wow. Are we talking like a lot of doors you're knocking on, like a lot of certain areas or what?
Well, I was mostly I did a lot of work in buildings,
Okay.
a lot of work in apartment buildings.
Nobody knocked on the doors except you?
Not so many people, and I was often the first person they'd seen in a long time.
That's funny. Yeah. I didn't have anybody here except for one counselor was for my ward running. And he was only one guy out of the 7 guys once in our building. So it says something about the buildings too. I don't think discriminate or what, or they just avoid it, or just
I spoke to a lot of people, and in general, people in apartment buildings, tenants in particular, have lower voter
Hey, I'm
turnouts.
back.
Yay, you're back.
I think when it
So
converts the video, that's why it does that. The other video, yeah.
okay, that makes a lot of sense. So I think there tends to be lower turnouts in buildings. It's hard to build relationships because tenants tend to turn over a lot more, so you don't get good lists. And I didn't have any lists, so it was fine. I was like, I don't not have a good list. I just don't have a list. I downloaded the voter list from the city, of course, but they weren't. It wasn't like a campaign database where we had an existing relationship with homeowners, or I was, looking at the ones and the twos and figuring out who we could move along the dial. I just knocked on every door. So we went up to Dawes Road and we knocked on doors in the buildings there. We went into the buildings on Gerrard Street. We went into the buildings at Main Square and talked to as many people as we could. We didn't talk to everybody, and I'm still sorry about that, but we were a small team. And for at least the month of August and early September, we were a very small team.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So there's only so many, and there's 90,000 people in this ward and about 45,000 dwellings.
I know people
That's
say,
a
"Well, you didn't come and
lot.
knock my door." Like as a kid, I had people go, "Well, you didn't come to my ward." I go, "I was in your ward. I just didn't get over there." It's hard. It's
Hard. It's tough, and yeah, certainly when you're doing the whole city, it's mammoth.
Yeah. I mean, I had fun doing it, But I was going to ask you about the politics. Let's jump ahead now. The election's over. You didn't win. I saw some of your tweets, and I was just being enthusiastic. I was being hard on people because I didn't want, like I said, I saw you and other candidates, and I never seen so many candidates so strong in the backgrounds, bring it to the city, and I just, I don't want them to give up. I really don't. I don't feel something. I always talk about the candidates. I defended every candidate who got attacked by journalists saying you're nobodies and all that. But when I saw your tweets and I kept harassing you. I mean, I'm sorry. I said,
You're
I'm
all
not
right.
gonna give up. You're gonna do it again or whatever, but you're taking it easy and then you said you find a new job, but you're gonna be active in the community. And I said, good. I'm glad. Because I don't want you to give up to give up all that spirit you have, like you're back to the hospital, not just a case of doing checkers and stuff. They love your company. And that's the main thing. You keep them company and that's your energy there and see all that and what you've been through. I mean, just to say I've seen some candidates just gone into hiding or just kind of secluded. But I say, I wish they come back because you know what? There's that magic in the air, that magic in the heart. You just can't give it up. You just can't dampen that spirit. It's like an egg. Once you crack that egg, you just can't go back in the shell anymore. You gotta
It's true. No, I don't begrudge anybody a bit of a rest. I certainly
Oh yeah,
had a bit of a burnout period after
oh
the
yeah.
election. As I said, I'm still trying to get these thank you cards out. I'm sorry, supporters.
No.
It's
It's
happening.
fine.
But and I also know that for those of us who really put, not just candidates, but campaign supporters, volunteers who really, were looking for something different from our city out of this election. Right now, with the budget, with the need to open the warming centers, with everything that's happening at the province, with Bill 23, with the strong mayor powers, it's actually very difficult to know where to put your energy. It's not that people don't want to help, it's that there's a lot happening and it's very hard to know. Oh, here's my cat.
Hey! Oh my gosh, so
That's
nice. Hey, so
Lisa.
beautiful. Oh.
Yeah.
See, you're good with nature. I knew it. Yeah. See, cats
Say
speed up. Like
hello. She
cats are
doesn't really.
they're so sensitive people. So I love her face. Oh,
She's the queen of the house.
oh my God, she's so cute. I love her face. Oh, my cats.
So but before somebody came in to tell me that it's time to pay attention to something other than the computer,
Oh my gosh. See,
what I was
they
saying is
know.
that I think that it's tough for people to even know where to focus or which projects to take on because there's just so much. And certainly I've had a bit of that myself, right? Like it's not, the campaign wasn't my full-time job. It was my full-time after work weird hobby.
Yeah.
And now, I have a new job and I'm finding my way into that. And there's still so much that needs to happen in the city. We're still looking at a budget that starves our city services, that asks us to do more with less, to take care of each other better in a time when prices are
And
rising.
it should be like, it should be like that. To get to this point right now, as we're talking, all that struggle, all that focus, all these groups out there, there's so many groups out there. And, like,
Yep.
I say, it's such a shame that they're still fighting. Like today, the Warming Center. Why are they fighting? How many years is going on? Acorn, 16 years going on.
Yep.
TCH, 23 years trying to get housing done.
Yep.
Why should they fight? Here's an oxymoron. We want your vote. We'll talk to you. We'll socialize you. We'll come to your events. We'll kiss your babies. Thanks for getting us in. Now we need your help from the community. Who are you? It's like,
Yeah. And I mean,
it
so I
should be
think
like
that
that.
I think that, it can be tough for those of us in the activist stream to sort of even know where to focus, especially when we no longer have the ability to do everything all at once, right? I had some amazing volunteers in my campaign. They're off doing their own things now, and as well they should. So I'm, trying to take all of the stuff I learned from the campaign and apply it and keep tabs on the city and do a bit deputation to the budget committee and prepare letters to my councillor about opening warming centers and coordinate with groups that are trying to organize tenants. And it's a lot. I would love to have a city that I trusted to take care of us well enough that I could focus on one project.
Oh, that's so
That I
nice.
could just like advocate for bike lanes. That would be so amazing. I would love that. But as it is, I think a lot of us who really had a vision for a city that invested in its people, that invested in a sustainable economy, that invested in the environment, that was really serious about honoring its commitment to the original people. Those of us who really believed in that, we still feel like there's just so much to do. And we need to take care of each other and support each other and recognize that sometimes people just need to take a step back and figure out what they can do and where they had best put their energies.
And like you said, our backgrounds, like I said, we talked in many debates about this with the mayors, like the rich can't help the poor. You gotta be poor to help the city, right? You gotta be there. You gotta be a single mother. You gotta be a stepmother. You gotta be a cat lover. You gotta be a musician. You can't just go in there with a nonchalant, without exposure and background. Like I live poverty. I live on the streets. I know what it's like. So I can understand that. I can relate with that. I can take that to the city. What they spend like $1 million, like cheap change to us, $5 is like life for a week. And you got to relate that. And that's not there. Like their attitude, I'm not being mean, but the attitude is a nonchalant, rich, white, privileged, go back to nice, comfy homes, and then you say, okay, we'll take the city on our own, on our time, not our time, their time. And that's a mistake.
I forget who it was today. I think it was Gru who tweeted today that he was sitting beside Diana Chan McNally when a certain councillor referred to warming shelters as luxury items.
Yeah, Thompson.
The city's budget. I wasn't going to name names, but you can go ahead.
No, I'm you're gonna get 59. Don't care.
Yeah.
Just say whatever. No, he said it. No, it's here. It's on the video. It's no.
I don't understand how you can refer to a place where people can come
That's
in.
what the attitude is. The rich attitude. Luxury. What is luxury to? So us having a warmer center is luxury. Geez, I wonder what having what is poverty to us? Living in the gutter?
Yeah, like it shouldn't.
That's that rich snotty attitude. I've got money, it is. I'm not nothing against people are rich. You earn your money, you earn it, that's fine. But you know what? Don't want old standards richness on people like us because they're not gonna work.
Or just acknowledge that a need is a need. And the moment we're talking about a need, it is not a luxury and it is not a question of choice. It is a moral imperative.
A luxury is something permanent. It's not permanent. Warming center is temporary, right?
A luxury is also something unnecessary, right? Like I have my nails painted purple. That is a little luxury I give myself.
A luxury. Oh, you can go to the warming center right now.
Yes, you know, this is not a thing I need in order to be okay.
Yeah, well, why can't we have luxury? Why can't we have perks like
We
you?
absolutely,
Why
absolutely.
do we
I
have
think
to
we should
be?
have luxuries.
Why do ODSP people in power living on the streets? Why do you have to struggle? Why do you have to have a? Why do you have to like grumble? I'm not saying they grumble, but I'm saying like they're pleading at city council like today, pleading for this, pleading for warming centers. Why do they have to lower themselves? I'm saying they're lowering themselves to reach these rich people standards to get in there, and it shouldn't be like that. You know,
It should not. As I
it should
said, I
not.
think, you know, if we are serious that housing is a human right, which I am,
It is.
then
Um,
we cannot say that a warming center is a luxury. What a warming center is a telling sign of our failure to make good on our commitment to our communities.
you should wonder what they're going to call a cooling center in summer.
Also
Terrorists.
very important because, and that's something that, you know, we're going to need more and more of as well, because the temperature's not going down.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're
But
not
like I
doing
said,
anything to make it go
we
down.
got to this point, we shouldn't be like that. All these projects, Acorn, ODSP, you know, Isabella, my fellow candidate, I talk to her all the time. She's a strong advocate. She's amazing. People don't realize how smart she is. We talk back and forth all the
Oh,
time.
she is brilliant. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you want anything about housing, like we did the housing debate, we said this is your thing, Isabella. You know, and she didn't. I'm sure she didn't get endorsed, but she should have. But she's amazing. But we talk about it all the time. She's property. She's trans. We talked. We had a video about her, an interview, and I'm just saying. So I know what you want. I know what you want to talk about. The incumbent.
You know what? I'm okay not talking about him. He's got a job to do,
Okay.
and
All
we're
right.
paying attention.
Yeah.
His job is now to represent me as well as the people, you know, me and the people who voted for me, as well as all the people who voted for him, and all the people who voted for the other candidates, and all the folks who didn't vote. And I know what I would like to see from my city councillor.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it's up to him to decide, you know, whether that meshes with his priorities for this ward. I know that he has a strong belief in this neighborhood and this ward. That was a platform of his campaign, and I know that he is really committed to a vision of the city that that has housing for more people.
And he's an urban planner. You know.
Yeah, but he sure was.
I went down for his. I purposely went down because I heard a lot of things about him from your group there, and some other people about who this him Bradford, Brad Bradford. Okay, I went down there to the campaign to go check it out myself because everybody was talking about him, my fellow candidates, mayors. I said, you know, I'm gonna go down. I'm good with people. I get vibes off people. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go down. I went there, met him for the first time because I used to bug him on the video and make cheeses about him. And I met him, shook his hand, did canvassing him for that day on his opening campaign in the city. And then I endorsed him. Boy, did I get a lot of stick for that one. But I said, you know what? I'm good with people. And you know what? I'm going to say right now, he's a good guy. Unfortunately, he's under the wrong leadership.
Should have come and canvassed with us. We had more fun.
Well, yeah, I got it like that. I know. But the thing is,
so
he didn't have that. He didn't have the restrictions. He could do a lot more. Like I'm saying, you know.
We choose our allies, don't we?
Yeah, that's true. No, unfortunately, that happens, right?
We choose our allies and we choose our votes.
But as a person, like I said, like he's even not only him, but I've had other candidates or incumbents, and I all see this that, and they got this vibe of restriction on them. Like they can do so much, but there's a certain detail they can't go past. I don't know why. It's just because the coercion or whatever, but just the feeling I get. Like I know, like Davis is retired. You know Davis, you're in Dorsey, right? She's an amazing woman, you know, and I see her stories about things she went through as a counselor, like you know, like things she wanted. And that's a perfect example right there. And she's doing her tweets, right? Her comments and all, right? And that's just right, a perfect example. What she wanted done there in the city back then. This is back then, meaning like when women are now more stronger now than back then, like fighting.
I don't think you'd have to look really hard to find an advocate stronger than Janet Davis in
No,
any
I'm saying
generation.
like back then, like she was one of the ones. She stood up as one of the most, right? Yeah, but I can't think of right now any other. Well, what's that name? Like there's some other ones, but like I always feel like they could if they just weren't curtailed by I'm gonna say discriminating men, right?
As I said, I think we choose when we're talking about the current candidate, the current councillor of Ward 19, when we're talking about people in politics, we choose our allies and we choose where we're going to deliver our support.
Yeah.
We choose which of our constituents we're going to listen to, and we should listen to all of them, but
It's
certainly
true.
some people have more influence than others, and we know that.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that we can really, like, ultimately, we have to judge politicians on the strength of the policies that they support and the work that they do. And that
It's
to
so
me is
true.
what somebody's
It's so
record
true.
is, you know?
I'm gonna pick.
So,
I'm gonna pick your brain.
sure.
Okay. You're now Jennie Worden, run for council. You got all this experience as a volunteer. You're a politician right now, as
I
you
guess I
speak.
am.
You've sold yourself to the other side there, Wood. But anyways, my question is, somebody comes up to you, you see a future person getting volunteered and getting involved in the community, and she comes up to you and says, excuse me, Jennie Worden, what advice would you give me to become a better community advocate and a supporter or into politics? As your experience, what would you give? What would you tell her?
Oh my goodness, that's such a great question.
I love it. That's why I ask people questions like this.
Yeah. So first of all, I'd say build your networks, because any project you undertake, you're going to need help. So find the people who are passionate about the same thing that you're passionate about and get involved with them, and then figure out what it is that you bring to the table. So in my case, I'm a fairly good speaker. I'm very good at written communications. I'm really good at organizing ideas and meetings. I run a mean meeting. That's what I can bring to a group. Plus, I have years of experience, working in city organizing in various capacities. So, and show up and do the things. And if you can't find the people who are interested in what you're in, get out there on whatever social media is, in your neighborhood groups, in your Mastodon or Twitter or any other social feed, on your Instagram, and talk about the thing and bring those people to you, and then start working on something. Pick a project. Try to pick a project that you can actually accomplish. Look at your SMART goals, because you'll feel better about something that you can be successful at. And also you'll see an impact. And then know what it is that your principles are, and always, always work within your principles. Don't compromise. Don't be the kind of person you don't want to be. Because at the end of the day, you have to live with yourself. You have to live with your community. It will come back to bite you if you compromise on your principles. And that can be very difficult. It can be very tempting to compromise on certain things, to soften certain messages, to not lean into things that are not going to be very popular with certain potential allies, to accept support from somebody who might extract your support later in a way that you're not happy with. But you have to live with yourself at the end of the day. And when I was active with East Centers Against Racism, at the first meeting, one of my colleagues, Farah Mawani, said to all of us, how we do something is as important as what we try to do.
So nice.
And that really stuck with me. How we do the thing is as important as the thing that we do. So that's the other thing I'd say is be aware of how you want to do the things. Do you want to be non-hierarchical? Do you want to be collaborative? Or is it really important to you that you make the thing happen come hell or high water, and that is, important above all else? Understand that about yourself going in, and take those values and those principles with you to everything that you do. One of the things that I did when I was knocking on doors in the campaign, people would say, so what promises are you making? And I'd say, I'm not promising you a darn thing. What I'm here is to tell you what my priorities are. And I'm here to find out what your priorities are. And if our priorities align, maybe you want to vote for me so that we can work on these things together.
So nice.
Because I was not going to start my relationship with the people of Beaches and East York with a lie, with a promise that I couldn't keep. That's important to me. It's important to me that we build a relationship of mutual trust and respect, and that we work together in a way that doesn't ask me to lie, and that doesn't leave the people with whom I'm working disappointed. So very important to me. And so I think it's really important to anybody starting out to know, think about what your values are, and you might find them through your work. And then finally, bring the joy. If you hate it, you need to stop and ask yourself why you're doing it, because this work is hard and it can feel difficult and it can ask a lot of you, but it's got to be joyful as well. It's got to give you something back. Bring the joy, because if our communities can't rejoice together, come together in hope and optimism, we're doing something wrong and we're not going to survive.
Gosh, sounds like your acceptance speech. I love it. I love it. Just to me.
I think about this a lot.
Yeah, I know, but that's so nice, right from the heart. Ah, you make me all teary-eyed. But next question is, you have a stepson, right? How's your stepson?
He's 19.
So, how long you know him? Like all like since he's a
So
kid?
I've been part of his life since he was 4.
Okay, so my question is, what do you want your stepson to see about you when he gets, well, he's older now. Like
He's
when he
older
looks at
now.
you, what's that?
See, he's already all grown up. So
Yeah. So when he sees you, what do you want to portray to your as your stepson? Like when when he looks at stepmom Jenny, he says like, you know what, she did this or she did this or she influenced in a certain way. What would you like to put on?
one of the things that I'm really proud about with my parenting is that my kid knows that his dad and I will always help. That if he has a friend and they have a problem, he can bring that person to us. We'll sort it out. If somebody needs a place to stay, we will find a place to stay. If somebody needs a meal, we will as a family find them a meal. If somebody needs some guidance or some help. And that is a value that we've tried really hard to live, because communities don't work if we don't all show up and embody. And so one of the things that makes me proudest is when he comes to me and says, hey, Jenny, I need some help making this happen. I need some help. My friend needs a place to stay. Can we make that happen? That he trusts our family to be there for his community.
It's amazing. Yeah, wow. Big family, actually, not just you three. There's like you're talking like family is right now, the whole community, you know.
We have so many aunties, uncles, cousins, honorary siblings, honorary kids. And every single one of them is a gift from heaven.
That's so nice. I love it. A gift from heaven. All right. A gift from heaven, taking part-time with an angel. I love it. Like my dad, like my dad and my mom, same way they raised us. I used to bring guys back to the military down on weekends from Borden. And like I met guys later on, they say, you remember your dad, they had bad upbringings. They say, I wish we had a dad like you, like your dad, And that just says right there, And they say, we see your dad in you right now as he's passed on now. But I say, just like you're talking, like your kids trust you. That's the thing. They trust you when they come to you anything. That's the big thing about parenting and trust with like today's kids. Communication is such a big thing, right? And you're a great communicator, and your son sees that in you. That's amazing. I just and I love your appreciation for nature. I know I bug you about you have a gift for nature. You can always tell people in nature, like your cat. And well, what told me about your nature was your video. When you did your video, your opening scene.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sunrise and all. I said, that's so nice.
That was, I again, all credit to my videographer, Peter, who really found the beauty and saw what I see in the city and created a video that reflected my love for the city, my vision for the city, and me in a way that just blew my mind. We worked really hard on that video together, and he brought an amazing sensibility to it. And I was so proud of it. I was so proud of how well it resonated with people. But I could not have done that on my own without an absolutely fantastic video storyteller.
What I like about your video is like you're talking in your video, but in your video you're not actually talking in the video, but there's in the background. But what I like about I'm a people watcher, and also the guy that did your video, he captured the emotions in your eyes as you did each scene, and you can see I saw it in your eyes. You can see each thing in your eyes. You're loving the eyes. You're concerned about people, the way you talk, they look about you, looking straight in the eyes. That's what caught me about you. Besides the original people, the video guy caught the emotions without speaking in your eyes and your love for the city. And I said, yeah, that's amazing. So tell your guy kudos to what he did. You
I'll
know,
let Peter know. Peter DeCunning, people. He's an amazing videographer and video editor.
that's good. So, what's your any future projects for yourself? Anything you're into right now, or
Right now, I think as I mentioned earlier, I am preparing a deputation for the Budget Council about our city's
nice?
budget. I am being a fly in the ointment and reminding my city councilor that we need to open warming centers. I do need to do some tenant rights work, and I've got some other projects that I'm not really ready to announce yet, but they're in the works.
Oh, I was gonna ask you, what do you do for fun besides playing? Besides singing, what else do you do for hobbies?
I ride my bike. I'm an avid cyclist. I also do a little bit of downhill skiing. My partner's on the Canadian Ski Patrol, so I
Nice.
get to go up skiing with him, and I have my very own personal ski patroller, which is
That's cool.
great. I'm enjoying skating over at Dieppe Park in the mornings right now. I go out for a little morning skate. I'm not very good at it, but I can certainly, keep myself upright and go backwards and forwards and turn around and stop, and that gets me out in the fresh air. I love baking.
Oh
And
yeah,
yeah,
I did cookies yesterday for my mom.
I saw that's what I was saying. When I was saying I had an idea for your cookies, the idea was you should send
Oh
them to
yeah,
me.
what's this thing?
Yeah.
You had a video. I had a what was it? Yeah,
I've
every
currently
emails,
got bread rising over on the
you know what?
radiator.
Do you know how many emails I got and tweets about what's the idea? What's the idea? And he didn't finish it. Like, what is the idea? I thought something was a
The
video you were
idea
gonna
was
do.
cookies are good. You should eat them
Oh,
and share them with your friends who also like cookies.
I thought they're all like everybody kept. What's your idea? What's your idea? She doesn't answer the question. Like, oh my gosh.
The idea is that cookies are good.
Oh,
Um,
cookies are good. Okay, that's the answer.
yeah, it's
Okay,
a really
that's
great
so
idea.
fun.
So that's a lot of what I do. I also I'm active with the Toronto Contra Dance, which is kind of like Jane Austen meets square dancing. It's
Oh,
a
cool.
participatory dance form we do once a month here in Toronto, and it's a lot of fun.
You have like
Highly
you do presentations in public?
we no it's participatory, so it's not really something that looks great from the outside, but it's a lot of fun to do. So every dance is taught and called, and we have a beginner session and live music. So that's the Toronto Contra Dance, super fun. So I keep myself pretty busy when I'm not running for election or working my day job.
That's amazing. Is there a site that people sign up for your dancing? They can go to and check it out?
Google Toronto Contra, Contra dance,
Yeah, okay.
and you should be able to find us no problem. Yeah, that's what I'm up to right now.
I know you
You know,
read a lot of books. So you got, is that all those books you read
I do
behind
read a
you?
lot of books. I mean, these are dictionaries. I don't sit down and read them, and usage books. I worked as an editor for 15 years, so I have a lot of books about language. These are science fiction and fantasy. There's more all over the house. Books about Toronto, books about history, books about women, all sorts of stuff going on there. And then, spending time with my family, that
That's
cliche.
funny. I was teasing you. You had a tweet. Your son made dinner. I was bugging you about it.
Yes,
And you're giving him a hard time. I said, poor guy. What's it? What are you giving him a hard time for?
he's fine.
I know. What
He's
are you
fine.
gonna make? You made lasagna?
He made a shepherd's pie.
Shepherd's pie. Yeah, the shepherd's pie. That's so cool.
Shepherd's pie.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
So
Wow.
we're gonna do some.
Can anybody get a hold of you? Is your website still up for
My
your gallery?
website's down because I just needed to take the campaign site down.
Okay.
I'll be putting up another website, I don't know, sometime when I get around to building one. But you can find me on Twitter, Jennie Worden TO. You can find me on Mastodon, but I have to remember what I am there. But if you look for Jennie Worden, there aren't that many of us in the world. You can find me on Facebook, Jennie Worden. I think Instagram is still Jennie Worden, so it's fairly easy to find me. And that's Worden, Worden. Jennie is Jennie. They're deceptively hard to spell.
I got 5 minutes left, so I'm gonna ask you another question to pick your brain. Out of all your volunteering years, has anybody ever come up to you once or twice and you know what? Thank you, Jennie, for making a difference in my life. What you did for me or what the community just made a difference.
Both in my volunteering and in my professional life, I've been really fortunate to meet and engage with people in really exciting ways. I I used to have a subscriber at my orchestra who would call me just to chat and to tell me what a difference the orchestra made. And that was professional, but it was still incredibly rewarding.
Oh, nice.
Volunteering wise, I have the groups that I've worked with, the people in them are still in contact with us, with each other. And these were some of my major supporters in my campaign. And just Friday night, I spent a bunch of time with a woman who I helped when she first arrived in Canada, and we're applying for colleges now.
Oh,
And
yes, that's so nice. I love
so,
it.
people don't have to say you made a huge difference because they're still part of my life.
I will say, can you imagine like we did this lady that you just mentioned, but maybe you may not know, but maybe when you pass away in heaven, you'll say all these people that you affected without you realizing it right now are out there, and they're gonna say, Jennie Ward made a difference in my life, but they haven't told you yet. But I'm just saying,
Um,
just so make the fly on the wall, the ripple effect, like you said about the lady, of just so many things you've done. Like there's so many things you've done out there that you have no idea. Maybe you've done something or probably affected people for a change and look up to you and they can do as a mentor. And with this, you just haven't mentioned it, but I'm just saying, so the potential out there is so amazing. Like your energy and your love and just endorsing you. You're not my last endorsement. I made a big jingle about the whole pink law. I wasn't sure obviously how to do it because I never met you before. I just tweeted you back and forth. I said I got to do this right because I know she's got a big following, so I don't know right. I'm gonna get crap right.
I
So
think you were the only endorsement that mentioned the cats, so you really did get it right.
oh yeah, and the pink,
And the
yeah.
pink.
I get the
And the
pink
pink.
side and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I hope to get to work together one day. If you need any help, any volunteer, for doing anything lifting or I do art, as you know.
Yes, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we'll be in touch. So as I said, I've got some projects that are
I know
sort
you're
of
busy. I really appreciate you coming. I know
percolating.
you're busy right now. I know we trying to work out a schedule and come. When you tweeted me the other day, you said let's do it. I said okay, let's do it. I wasn't sure you're gonna need it like later on in months or whatever, but that's
No,
so.
no, no. I had to get through that round of performances that I just had, and then I could think about what happened next. But Mozart ate my entire life last week.
Love
Um,
Mozart,
yeah, Mozart.
Beethoven, Bach.
Just Mozart last week. We're heading into Bach season.
How
So
are you? What
yeah.
part of Bach are you doing?
So we're doing the B minor mass. This is with the
Yeah,
Toronto Mendelssohn Choir. And we'll be performing that. I don't even know when. I haven't looked that far
and
ahead.
you're a soprano, right?
Yep.
Oh, that should be. Yeah, you get it on video. Are you guys doing it on video, like recording it or whatever to watch?
I don't know if we're recording this concert. You can see some of our former concerts on the TM Choir YouTube channel.
Okay, TM Choir. I remember that.
TM Choir, yep. So they have a really active YouTube channel. You can spot me somewhere like buried in the second or third row of sopranos.
2 minutes left. 2 minutes left. Favorite foods.
Favorite foods, dark chocolate.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Head rush.
Chocolate chip cookies,
Head
macaroni and
rush.
cheese, and tea. I really love tea.
Oh yeah. What kind of tea you like? I like Earl Grey, the real one.
I very much like Earl Grey. I'm a big fan. Right now, one of my favorite teas is sweet lemon green tea, which is just a blend that I get from the Tea Emporium, and it's quite lovely and really nice to have in the afternoon.
I guess I got 1 minute and 20 seconds left. Anything you want to add? I didn't cover. I think I got it all.
I wanted to add that running for election was a huge part of my year, but and I'm going to be processing that for a long time. But I am just so grateful to everybody who gave me their support, who gave me a YouTube endorsement or a video endorsement or retweeted anything. It was really amazing to learn how many people care passionately
Gonna get cut off in about 1 minute here, but just wait. Jennie,
about building a better city that takes care of all of us.
thanks for coming on the show. I'll send you the video, and thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and it's nice to meet you finally. And
it's good to finally meet you, Phil. It was great chatting.
Yeah, you're a lovely lady. I think you're an amazing lady. I think you're a mentor to a lot of people. I'm gonna get cut off here, but I hope you the best. I hope to work with you one day, and I hope you see you in city council.
Thank you so much, Phil. You take
Have
care.
a good week, and thanks so much for coming on the show.
Ciao.
Ciao. Take care, Jennie.
You too. Bye.